In 1972, Wernher von Braun stood before his life's greatest vision, a rotating wheel space station that would house humanity among the stars. His office smelled of tobacco and ambition, the Earth globe on his desk a reminder of where we'd come from, and where he desperately wanted us to go. The Soviet engineers hunched over their lunar city blueprints in 1968, fur hats pulled low against the Kazakh winter, believed they would bury the Americans in moon dust. Their technical drawings sprawled across metal tables like promises of an empire that would extend far beyond Earth's atmosphere. The 1950s Collier's magazine dream of nuclear rockets carried families to Mars in illustrated glory. Atomic age optimism rendered in vibrant colors. Suburban dreams projected onto the red planet's surface, a future that seemed inevitable then. In 1975, an American astronaut and Soviet cosmonaut shook hands on the lunar surface, their flags planted together in soil no human had touched before. The Earth rose behind them, fragile and singular, as Cold War enemies became partners in the vastness of space. The Stanford torus interior curved upward in impossible geometry, green fields and suburban houses wrapping around to meet the sky, sunlight streaming through windows 3 miles long, humanity's first true arcology suspended in the void. The Soviet N-1 rocket stood on Baikonur's launchpad in 1969, frost coating its 30 engines, a parallel history waiting to ignite. 4 times it had failed. This time in this timeline, the fireball carried Soviet ambition beyond Earth's grasp. Inside Space Station Freedom's cramped module in the 1980s, an astronaut with a perm haircut floated among Velcro walls covered with family photographs, drinking Tang from a plastic tube, beige computers humming with computational power that a phone would later surpass. Robert Zubrin's Mars direct habitat rose from the red dust in 1990, inflatable greenhouse pressing against transparent walls, tomato vines reaching toward filtered sunlight. The astronaut checked soil samples, knowing this was how humanity would finally survive on another world. Walt Disney's 1955 vision gleamed in Art Deco perfection. Monorails gliding through rotating rings. Families in futuristic fashions gazing at Earth through windows larger than any built before. Tomorrowland made manifest in orbital steel and glass. The abandoned Soviet lunar base sat in eternal shadow in 1980, cracked domes leaking memories of ambition into the vacuum, Lunokhod rovers frozen mid-patrol, Earth hanging in the black sky like a judgment on what might have been. Apollo 18 astronauts prepared in the White Room in 1972, their faces set with determination that history would never record. The Saturn V gleamed in Florida sunlight, a perfect machine awaiting a mission that funding and politics would cancel before dawn. The rotating gymnasium of the 1980s colony curved upward in disorienting geometry, joggers in leotards and leg warmers bouncing along bungee-tethered tracks, mirror walls reflecting infinite corridors of humanity's first orbital suburb. The Soviet Buran space shuttle touched down on a Kazakh runway in 1992, snow swirling around its landing gear, Energia rocket standing ready in the background. In this timeline, the Soviet space plane fleet operated regularly, carrying cosmonauts and commerce alike. The first space wedding in 1987 saw a bride's white dress floating in the chapel module, her veil drifting in zero gravity, Earth providing the only backdrop any couple could ever need, a moment of pure human joy in the most inhospitable venue imaginable. The Mars colony's first landing in 1994 pressed airbags into red dust, rover tracks marking the first paths across an ancient surface, an astronaut's boot creating a print that would last 1,000,000 years, a flag planted in soil that had never known wind. Von Braun's 1952 fleet sailed in formation toward Mars, 10 ships painted in Gothic grandeur, cathedral-like spacecraft carrying humanity's first interplanetary expedition, Chesley Bonestell's paintings made flesh and metal and hope. The Venture star lifted off horizontally in 1995, aerospike engines glowing blue against the dawn sky, single-staged orbit technology that funding cuts would strangle in our timeline, here achieving the reusability that would transform space access forever. Inside the Soviet Almaz station in 1978, a cosmonaut in gray uniform operated the cannon mounted for defense against American interference. Target practice conducted in the ultimate high ground, Cold War paranoia made visible in orbital hardware. The L5 Society's colony stretched 3 miles in cylindrical perfection. Gerard O'Neill's vision of libertarian space settlement realized. Rivers flowing uphill in the rotation. Stanford students in bell bottoms tending gardens that would feed 10,000 souls. The Apollo Applications Program Wet Workshop in 1973 showed astronauts swimming through a converted fuel tank, golden insulation blankets forming the walls of humanity's first orbital habitat. SIVB stages transformed from discarded rockets to precious living space. The Soviet Mars 5NM mission in 1975 succeeded where our timeline's ambitions failed. The robotic arm collecting soil samples as the return vehicle ascended from the red surface, Pravda declaring socialist science triumphant over capitalist delay. Space Station Freedom's evolution in 1993 showed international modules docking in sequence. Japanese cherry blossom logos beside European cylinders, American Unity nodes connecting them all, the cooperation that would eventually become ISS, here achieved earlier and more fully. Disney's 1967 EPCOT Space City radiated from its central monorail hub, permanent residents living in corporate plan perfection. Kodachrome colors capturing a World's Fair optimism that believed technology and vision could solve any human problem. The Soviet TMK mission in 1971 carried 3 cosmonauts past Venus toward Mars. 18 months of isolation in a cramped module, hydroponic algae providing both food and oxygen. The psychological toll of deep space exploration written on their faces. The Hilton Space Hotel in 1985 offered tourists champagne that floated in spherical perfection, Earth view commanding premium pricing. The commercialization of orbit beginning decades before Musk and Bezos would claim the concept as innovation. The NERVA nuclear thermal rocket test in 1979 lit up the Nevada desert, atomic fire promising Mars missions within reach. The program that environmental fears would cancel here, achieving the propulsion that would carry humanity to the outer planets. Soviet Lunokhod rovers departed their garage in 1980, cosmonauts in pressurized vehicles driving across lunar Maria, communication antenna arrays sprouting from the regolith like metallic flowers, the Soviet moon permanent and productive. The Space Shuttle Polar Orbit launch in 1986 rose from Vandenberg's California coast, military payloads secreted in cargo bays, high-inclination orbits offering views of Earth's entire surface, capabilities that politics would ground before they could fly. Inside Biosphere 2's space adaptation in 1994, 8 scientists in blue jumpsuits maintained rainforest biomes in rotating cylinders, ecological utopianism given orbital reality, the closed-loop life support that would enable deep space missions tested and proven. The Ares Mars airplane soared over Valles Marineris in 2003, first powered flight on another world, wings banking against canyon walls that dwarfed any on Earth, aviation heritage achieving what the Wright brothers could never have imagined. The Soviet Zond 8 looped around the moon in 1970, cosmonauts seeing the far side with human eyes for the first time, their capsule's porthole framing cratered desolation, Soviet state television broadcasting a triumph that history denied. The zero-gravity basketball game of 1991 saw astronauts in short shorts bouncing from wall to wall, Spalding ball trailing parabolic arcs, recreational modules proving that human play would persist even in the most engineered environments imaginable. The Saturn V production line in 1980 stretched through Michoud Assembly Facility in industrial majesty, dozens of rockets in various assembly stages. American manufacturing might at its peak, a capability that would be dismantled rather than maintained. The Buran integration in 1988 filled a Kazakh hangar with winter light. White orbiter mated to orange tank in scale that humbled human ambition, Soviet engineering achieving what American politics would prevent. The lunar mining colony of 1995 stripped regolith for helium-3, massive tracked vehicles transforming the pristine moon into industrial resource, Earthrise watching over the first extraction of wealth from another world. The Space Telescope Assembly in 1985 showed astronauts constructing a 10-meter mirror in orbit, precursor to Hubble golden spacesuits against the infinite black. Human hands building, eyes to see the universe's secrets. The Soviet Venera Halley mission in 1985 succeeded at both Venus landing and comet encounter, multiple modules operating in coordination, international cooperation that Cold War tensions prevented in our timeline, here achieved through scientific necessity. The Mars-based greenhouse in 2001 produced the first potato grown in Martian soil, botanist in clear helmet examining leaves dusted with red fines, life finding purchase in dead ground, Rachel Carson's environmental vision adapted to planetary scale. The Space Shuttle extended operations in 2010 showed weekly launches becoming routine. Fifth orbiter joining the fleet, space access normalized to the point of mundane aviation photography capturing technological maturity rather than experimental daring. The Soviet Almaz civilian conversion in 1982 offered French cuisine in tubes to international guests, premium pricing for Earth View, space tourism beginning in Soviet hospitality, in tourists' orbital branch serving tang with revolutionary patience. The Lagrangian Point colony in 1999 constructed astronomical platforms at L2, James Webb precursor telescopes floating in stable halo orbits, deep space quiet broken only by the hum of scientific instruments probing cosmic mysteries. The Apollo lunar base in 1980 began permanent occupancy in Shackleton Crater, ice mining for water and fuel, continuation rather than cancellation, Life magazine documenting American permanence on the silver globe. The Soviet Phobos base in 1998 saw cosmonauts hopping across tiny gravity, Mars dominating the sky in overwhelming red, psychological isolation of the first Martian moon settlement, Antarctic expedition photography adapted to space's ultimate desert. The Space Solar Power Station in 1996 transmitted microwave energy to Earth, Rectena farms receiving clean power from orbit, environmental solutions implemented through technological ambition, architectural photography of optimism made manifest. The Mars sample return in 1997 landed its canister in Utah desert, containment facility preparing for first sealed examination, planetary protection protocols ensuring Earth safety while delivering alien geology, Centers for Disease Control aesthetic applied to space science. The Space Shuttle Science Laboratory in 1995 showed Spacelab permanent installation, microgravity manufacturing producing protein crystals for pharmaceuticals, commercial research establishing the economic rationale for continued orbital presence. The Soviet Lunar Farsight Observatory in 1989 shielded radio telescopes from Earth's interference, massive dishes in crater shadows listening to cosmic dawn, Soviet scientific ambition achieving what Western budgets would not contemplate. The Space Station Agricultural Module in 1994 demonstrated wheat harvest in orbit, bread baked in zero gravity, food self-sufficiency proven possible, farm photography adapted to tin, can environments, amber waves of grain in artificial sun. The Mars Rover Support Station in 2005 coordinated hundreds of telepresent operators, Sojourner-scale vehicles exploring by the hundreds, human-tended robotic networks searching for life across the red planet's surface. The Space Shuttle lunar adaptation in 1999 showed orbiters modified for cislunar operations. External tanks stretched for the journey, landing on terrain never designed for. Engineering improvisation achieving what specification would not allow. The Soviet Mars rover in 1996 succeeded where our Prop-M failed, walking vehicle finding soil organics, first detection of extraterrestrial life, Pravda declaring socialist science victorious in the search for cosmic companionship. The Orbital Debris Recycling Facility in 2003 captured dead satellites in solar-powered smelters. Space sustainability achieved before crisis point. Environmental movement extending to orbital conservation. Documentary photography of space cleanup. The space station retirement community in 2010 housed elderly residents in adapted zero-gravity. Health benefits of orbit extending human lifespan. Geriatric space medicine pioneering new care models. AARP's most exclusive chapter meeting above the atmosphere. The Mars Polar Station in 2008 wintered over in dry ice cap research. First seasonal variation study in permanent darkness. Extreme environment survival proving human adaptability to conditions that would kill unprotected in seconds. The Space Shuttle Science Platform in 1997 maintained long-duration exposure facility permanently. Materials science in vacuum revealing atomic oxygen effects. Technological testing establishing baseline for future construction. The Soviet Venus balloon habitat in 1985 floated cities at 50 kilometers altitude. Earth-like conditions in breathable air buoyancy. Tarkovsky atmospheric photography capturing harsh beauty of Soviet cloud colonies. The lunar mass driver in 1992 launched or electromagnetically to orbit, construction material for colonies extracted and exported. Gerard O'Neill's vision of mining the sky realized in industrial landscape photography. The Space Station Aquarium in 1996 showed koi swimming in spherical perfection. Closed-loop ecology demonstration, with Japanese aesthetic biological life support research proving that nature could persist in artificial worlds. The Mars aircraft carrier in 2015 pressed habitats on wheels across the surface, mobile exploration bases, circumnavigating the planet, naval architecture adapted to landlocked exploration, mobilization for science at military scale. The Apollo lunar rover extended mission in 1974 traversed 100 kilometers, multiple landing sites in Grand Tour of Moon, astronaut geologists reading the Silver Globe's history through Hasselblad panoramas and collected samples. The Soviet Lunar Railway in 1987 connected bases with magnetic levitation, permanent infrastructure binding settlements in industrial network, Soviet five-year plan achievement in reduced gravity, workers in space maintaining the tracks. The Space Telescope servicing in 1993 showed astronauts repairing 4-meter mirrors, not Hubble but its predecessor, human hands maintaining orbital instruments, spacewalk choreography achieving what robotics could not yet manage. The Mars cave habitat in 2011 burrowed into lava tubes, natural radiation protection enabling underground colonies, subterranean architecture emerging from red rock, speleology photography on another world, living beneath the Martian surface. The Space Shuttle emergency rescue in 1986 succeeded where Challenger failed, recovery of stranded satellite demonstrating astronaut bravery, mission control tension breaking into celebration, documentary photography of space heroism that never was. The Soviet Phobos sample return in 1990 departed the Martian moon with surface material, first extraterrestrial sample beyond Luna in Soviet laboratories, scientific priority achievement that history denied, space triumph photography of alternative past. The Orbital Construction Platform in 1998 assembled space frames in zero gravity, truss manufacturing enabling large structures, architectural photography of engineering in free fall, building the future without gravity's constraints. The Space Station Art Gallery in 2002 displayed zero-gravity sculpture, kinetic art responding to air currents and rotation, cultural life in orbit proving that human expression transcends environmental limitation, museum documentation in unusual context. The Mars River Valley Survey in 2009 walked ancient watercourses, dried riverbeds telling of flowing past, paleontology in space searching for fossil life in sedimentary layers, geological survey photography reading red planet history. The Space Shuttle Polar Research in 1994 observed Antarctic ice sheets from high-inclination orbits, climate science from space monitoring environmental change, aviation photography adapted to planetary observation, orbit for Earth understanding. The Soviet Lunar Telescope Array in 1991 established radio interferometry on farside cosmic dawn detection from shielded location, Soviet scientific legacy in astronomical observation, observatory photography in exotic and silent location. Space station manufacturing in 2000 produced fiber optics in zero gravity, perfect crystal growth enabling commercial success, industrial photography proving space economy viability, production in orbit becoming routine reality. The Mars Ascent Vehicle in 2012 launched first from Martian surface, sample and crew return vehicle shedding red dust, historic moment of first departure from another world, launch photography on alien soil, new beginning for human expansion. The Apollo lunar mining in 1979 processed regolith for oxygen, life support independence achieved, program continuation enabling resource extraction, industrial archaeology on Moon showing what cancellation prevented. The Soviet Space Shuttle passenger service in 1995 offered regular flights to orbit. Civilian space travel in Buran airliner variant, Aeroflot extending to space, commercial aviation photography adapted to suborbital and orbital routes. The Orbital Solar Shield in 2006 tested climate engineering, reducing solar constant to mitigate global warming, environmental intervention photography showing geoengineering from space, technological solution to planetary crisis. The Space Station School graduation in 2014 celebrated first class born in orbit, orbital citizenship emerging, new generation documentary showing coming of age in zero gravity, social photography of space settlement's first native graduates. The Mars Magnetic Field Study in 2020 investigated planetary death, core solidification timeline explaining atmospheric loss, planetary science photography conducting autopsy of world that once flowed with rivers and oceans. The Space Shuttle lunar cargo in 2007 delivered heavy construction materials to Moon base, logistics of settlement enabled by modified orbiters, transportation photography showing supply chain to silver globe, shuttle extended beyond low Earth orbit. The Soviet Lunar Astronomical Observatory in 1994 operated infrared telescopes at lunar poles, cold crater advantage enabling distant universe observation, astronomical photography from permanent Soviet base, science from the Moon's eternal shadows. The Space Telescope Planet Finder in 2004 detected exoearths directly, atmospheric analysis revealing chemical composition, biosignature search finding life indicators, astronomical photography of other worlds, discovering new homes for humanity. The Mars Sample Analysis in 2021 examined returned material in laboratory, first microscopic examination revealing fossil bacteria, scientific priority moment of alien life confirmation, microscopy photography of extraterrestrial biology. The Space Shuttle Passenger Module in 2005 seated commercial tourists for space experience, civilian access to launch and orbit, adventure tourism photography democratizing space access, technology enabling broader human participation. The Soviet space station art program in 1997 presented zero-gravity ballet, cultural achievement in free fall, artistic expression responding to orbital environment, performance photography in venue without precedent, Soviet creativity in space. The orbital debris removal in 2008 demonstrated laser ablation, small satellite tracking and elimination, space environmental protection before crisis, conservation photography in orbit, cleaning the space environment for sustainable use. The space station religious observance in 2015 established multi-faith chapel, prayer direction toward Earth, spiritual life in orbit documented, faith adapting to space environment, worship in zero gravity showing human need transcends location. The Mars Climate Station in 2022 monitored weather patterns, dust storm prediction enabling safe operations, seasonal variation understanding through meteorological photography on Red Planet, forecasting alien weather for human safety. The Space Shuttle Science Platform in 2006 operated materials processing furnaces, alloy development in zero gravity achieving commercial research success, industrial photography showing manufacturing in orbit becoming economic reality. The Soviet Lunar Transportation Hub in 1998 established surface-to-orbit shuttle service, regular flights enabling economic development, transportation photography showing routine space travel from Soviet moon bases, normalization of lunar access. The Space Telescope Deep Field in 2005 accumulated 100-hour exposure, earliest galaxies in cosmic dawn, astronomical photography of time itself, seeing universe's childhood through accumulated light from across billions of years. The Mars Agricultural Experiment in 2023 achieved regolith farming success, first edible crop proving self-sufficiency, agricultural photography on red soil showing life persisting on dead world, growing food for survival on alien ground. The Space Shuttle Emergency Repair in 2008 fixed thermal protection in orbit, astronaut courage enabling mission continuation, documentary photography of space problem solving, human ingenuity overcoming technical crisis in vacuum. The Soviet space station expansion in 1999 added international modules, precursor to cooperation demonstrating political thaw in orbit, architectural photography of growing international outpost, space bringing nations together through shared habitation. The orbital power transmission in 2009 demonstrated microwave beam to Earth, Rectana farms receiving clean energy, energy infrastructure photography showing power from space becoming practical reality, electricity generated in orbit for terrestrial use. The Space Station Cultural Festival in 2016 celebrated international unity, zero-gravity performance and artistic collaboration, documentary photography of space community. Festival in Tin can showing human celebration transcends environmental constraint. The Mars Geological Expedition in 2024 traversed canyon systems, layered sediment examination revealing water history, geological survey photography exploring red planet's past, reading the story written in rock across billions of years. The Space Shuttle satellite servicing in 2004 maintained Hubble predecessor, astronaut training precision in spacewalk choreography, technical photography showing human hands on space science, maintenance enabling continued discovery. The Soviet lunar manufacturing in 2000 produced solar cells from lunar silicon, energy independence through industrial base on Moon, factory photography in reduced gravity showing Soviet production on silver globe, manufacturing in space. The Space Telescope atmospheric analysis in 2006 performed exoplanet spectroscopy, chemical composition detection revealing planetary nature, life indicator search through astronomical photography, finding habitable worlds through light analysis. The Mars habitat expansion in 2025 demonstrated modular growth, pressurized volume increase enabling permanent settlement scale, architectural photography of growing colony, building to stay on red planet through systematic construction. The Space Shuttle Educational Mission in 2007 continued teacher in space program, classroom connection from orbit inspiring students, educational photography showing inspiration through space access, motivation of next generation through direct experience. The Soviet space station retirement in 2001 housed veteran cosmonauts as long-duration medical study subjects, social documentary showing aging in space, human adaptation research through extended residence, geriatric care in orbit. The orbital construction milestone in 2010 completed space frame construction. Large structure capability demonstrated for next-generation telescope support. Engineering photography showing building big in space. Megastructure assembly in zero gravity. The space station commercial activity in 2017 operated private research modules. Pharmaceutical production achieving space economy maturity. Industrial photography showing commercialization success. Private sector dominance in orbital economy. The Mars Exploration Rover Fleet in 2026 coordinated autonomous navigation. Scientific priority mapping through robotic survey. Exploration photography showing robotic precursors preparing for human settlement. Machines scouting for human arrival. The Space Shuttle Final Extension in 2011 operated fifth orbiter with weekly launch schedule. Space access routine and mature. Aviation photography showing space transportation system at peak capability before transition to next generation. The Soviet Lunar Heritage Site in 2002 preserved Luna 2 landing as historical monument. First human object on Moon protected for future generations. Archaeological photography in space preserving the heritage of space exploration's dawn. The Space Telescope successor launch in 2007 deployed 6-meter deployable mirror. Next-generation observation capability leap. Launch photography showing seeing farther than ever. New eyes on the universe opening. The Mars Human Precursor mission in 2027 prepared robotic base with resource extraction demonstration. Life support testing for human arrival. Exploration preparation photography showing readiness for first settlers. Machines preparing way for people. The Space Shuttle International Cooperation in 2008 integrated European Space Lab and Japanese experiments. International crew demonstrating diplomatic success in orbit. Space United Nations through shared mission and common habitation. The Soviet space station continuity in 2003 maintained Mir without abandonment. Continuous occupation record establishing human adaptation knowledge. Documentary photography of endurance in orbit. Wisdom from decades aloft. The Orbital Environmental Monitoring in 2011 established comprehensive Earth observation network. Climate change documentation from space. Conservation photography watching over planet. Environmental protection through orbital perspective. The space station generational change in 2018 showed second generation born in space. Native space dwellers emerging as new demographic, social documentary of new human environment, growing up in zero gravity as natural condition. The Mars landing site preparation in 2028 conducted robotic construction with habitat module placement, resource prospecting for human support, engineering photography preparing for first settlers, systematic preparation for human arrival on red planet. The Space Shuttle Technology Test in 2009 integrated scramjet research, hypersonic propulsion experimentation pushing boundaries of flight, experimental photography showing next-generation capability development through shuttle platform. The Soviet Lunar Scientific Station in 2005 operated permanent research facility with geological survey base, and astronomical observation post. Scientific photography on Moon showing knowledge generation from silver globe. Soviet science in permanent lunar presence. The Space Telescope gravitational wave detection in 2008 deployed space-based detector. Neutron star merger observation. Black hole collision recording. Astronomical photography of spacetime ripples. Hearing the universe through gravity waves. The Mars Atmospheric Study in 2029 modeled climate mechanics, dust storm dynamics and seasonal pressure variation through meteorological photography, understanding red sky weather patterns for safe human operations on Martian surface. The Space Shuttle commercial satellite deployment in 2010 launched private payloads for telecommunications network, space business growth visible from Earth, commercial photography showing space for profit, orbital commercialization achievement. The Soviet Space Station Cultural Exchange in 2004 hosted international artists for Zero Gravity Creativity Program, artistic documentation showing culture in orbit, human expression in space through Soviet hospitality and international collaboration. The Orbital Solar Power Demonstration in 2012 transmitted megawatt-scale energy, utility-scale clean power proof from space, energy infrastructure photography showing solution to Earth's needs through orbital generation and transmission. The space station medical breakthrough in 2019 achieved pharmaceutical discovery through protein crystallization, commercial application of space research, medical photography showing healing from space, healthcare advancement through orbital science. The Mars robotic construction in 2030 demonstrated autonomous building capability, habitat assembly without human presence preparing for arrival, engineering photography showing robots building for people, automated preparation for human settlement. The Space Shuttle Extended mission in 2011 achieved 30-day duration, long-stay capability demonstration for space station support, endurance photography pushing human limits in orbit, extended residence proving adaptation capacity. The Soviet Lunar Transportation Network in 2006 established surface vehicles and orbital shuttles with regular schedule, logistics photography showing routine travel on and around Moon, Soviet infrastructure, enabling lunar economic development. The Space Telescope Dark Matter Survey in 2009 mapped large-scale structure through gravitational lensing, invisible universe architecture revealed, astronomical photography of cosmic scaffolding, seeing what cannot be seen through light distortion. The Mars water extraction in 2030, one mined subsurface ice for life support and fuel production feedstock. Industrial photography showing mining for survival on Red Planet. Resource extraction enabling permanent human presence through local materials. The Space Shuttle Educational Outreach in 2012 connected student experiments to classroom. Inspiration mission motivating next generation. Educational photography showing space access inspiring youth. Demonstration effect of human presence in orbit. The Soviet space station scientific legacy in 2005 accumulated decades of research data. Human adaptation knowledge foundation for future missions. Scientific photography showing wisdom from long-duration Soviet orbital experience. The orbital debris mitigation in 2013 demonstrated active removal through satellite retrieval, space sustainability achievement through environmental protection, conservation photography showing responsible stewardship of orbital environment. The space station commercial tourism in 2020 operated regular visitor flights, orbital experience market establishment, adventure tourism photography showing space democratization through commercial access, expansion beyond government-only participation. The Mars Exploration Coordination in 2032 managed international robotic network with shared data and global effort. Exploration photography showing united approach to reaching Red Planet. Cooperation in robotic preparation for human arrival. The Space Shuttle technology transfer in 2013 demonstrated commercial applications and spin-off industries. Economic benefit of space investment. Industrial photography showing return on space program through terrestrial technology adaptation. The Soviet lunar program legacy in 2009 showed alternative history success with permanent settlement achievement. Documentary photography of Soviet moon that never was, imagining different past through visual documentation of achieved ambition. The Space Telescope final survey in 2012 completed comprehensive sky mapping, legacy data release enabling worldwide research, astronomical photography delivering complete picture of visible universe through accumulated observation. The Mars settlement inauguration in 2037 activated first permanent habitat with life support systems running. Engineering photography showing home on red planet ready for human arrival. Preparation completion for continuous presence. The Space Shuttle Museum preparation in 2018 retired orbiters to public display. Heritage photography preserving space achievement for future generations. Ensuring technological triumph remains accessible for inspiration and education. The Soviet space station transition in 2008 evolved international partnership toward new era diplomatic photography showing space bringing nations together. From competition to cooperation through shared orbital habitation experience. The orbital solar power commercial deployment in 2016 achieved competitive electricity pricing. Energy market transformation through space power. Industrial photography showing space technology solving Earth's energy needs economically. The space station generational milestone in 2023 celebrated first spaceborne adult reaching maturity. Native space citizen emergence. Social documentary showing new human frontier. Demographic evolution through orbital settlement growth. The Mars exploration achievement in 2038 completed robotic network with global survey finished. Human mission preparation ready, exploration photography showing systematic preparation for settlement through comprehensive robotic reconnaissance. The Space Shuttle final tribute in 2019 concluded 135 mission program. Space Access Revolution documentation. Commemorative photography honoring reusable launch system achievement, recognizing what was built and flown. The Soviet Lunar Base International Partnership in 2009 established global cooperation on Moon, shared facility enabling united exploration, diplomatic photography showing cooperation on Silver Globe, international presence in alternative Soviet timeline. The Space Telescope successor operation in 2013 deployed 10-meter segmented mirror, revolutionary capability, enabling new astronomical observation. Photography showing new eyes on universe opening frontier of cosmic knowledge. The Mars human arrival preparation in 2039 completed final countdown with habitat ready and resources stockpiled. Documentary photography capturing moment before forever changed. Anticipation of first crew arrival on Red Planet. The Space Shuttle technology heritage in 2020 showed systems influence on future reusable launch development. Engineering photography documenting foundation for next generation. Shuttle's role in human space expansion through technological legacy. The Soviet space station knowledge transfer in 2010 shared long-duration expertise internationally. Scientific photography showing wisdom from decades in orbit benefiting global space program. Soviet experience enabling worldwide human spaceflight advancement. The Orbital Environmental Monitoring Network in 2017 established comprehensive Earth observation for climate documentation. Environmental photography showing space-based conservation, watching over planet from orbital perspective for protection. The space station commercial research success in 2024 achieved pharmaceutical breakthrough with manufacturing profit, industrial photography showing space economy as mature industry, Commercial viability of orbital production proven. The Mars settlement activation in 2040 established first permanent human presence with self-sustaining colony, documentary photography showing humanity's second home beginning, continuous habitation of Red Planet achieved. The Space Shuttle historical legacy in 2021 assessed program influence on space access transformation, historical photography placing shuttle in context of human expansion, understanding achievement through documented evaluation. The Soviet lunar program alternative completion in 2011 showed base operational with permanent settlement achieved. Documentary photography of Soviet moon success that never was. Visual documentation of imagined past made present. The Space Telescope Gravitational Lensing Survey in 2014 mapped dark matter structure, revealing invisible universe architecture. Astronomical photography of cosmic scaffolding, understanding universe's hidden mass through light distortion analysis. The Mars exploration transition in 2041 marked shift from robotic to human exploration era. Documentary photography showing machines preparing way for people. Technological precursor completion, enabling human arrival on Red World. The Space Shuttle public engagement in 2022 maintained museum displays for educational impact, heritage photography showing continued inspiration through preservation, ensuring technological achievement motivates future generations. The Soviet Space Station International Evolution in 2012 transformed global facility through partnership expansion, diplomatic photography showing space as common heritage, international cooperation in orbital settlement development. The Orbital Power Transmission commercial achievement in 2018 established competitive energy market with space power utility, industrial photography showing electricity from space as economic reality, solving Earth's needs through orbital generation. The space station native generation growth in 2025 showed spaceborne population expansion as new human environment. Social documentary showing children of high frontier demographic evolution through continuous orbital habitation. The Mars permanent settlement in 2042 achieved continuous human presence with self-sustaining colony, historic achievement documentation showing humanity multiplanetary, continuous habitation of second world established. The Space Shuttle complete historical assessment in 2023 finalized program evaluation in space history context. Historical photography documenting shuttle's place in human expansion. Comprehensive understanding of reusable launch achievement. The Soviet lunar base scientific output in 2013 showed decades of research results with astronomical discoveries and geological surveys. Scientific photography demonstrating knowledge from alternative moon. Soviet scientific legacy in permanent lunar presence. The Space Telescope Deep Field Legacy in 2015 completed cumulative observation revealing cosmic history, astronomical photography showing universe's story through accumulated light, understanding formation and evolution through extended observation. The Mars colony expansion in 2043 demonstrated growing population with multiple habitats and infrastructure development, architectural photography showing building on Red Planet, systematic growth of settlement through construction and population increase. The Space Shuttle Inspiration Legacy in 2024 assessed educational impact on next-generation motivation, heritage photography showing continued influence through memory, ensuring achievement inspires despite program conclusion. The Soviet Space Station Permanent Record in 2014 documented continuous occupation achievement with human adaptation knowledge, documentary photography showing endurance in orbit, decades of Soviet experience in long-duration spaceflight. The orbital manufacturing industry establishment in 2019 achieved commercial production scale with space materials market, industrial photography showing off-world economy established, viable commercial activity beyond Earth's surface. The space station cultural development in 2026 showed spaceborne artistic tradition emerging in zero-gravity environment, artistic photography showing new human expression, creativity adapting to orbital conditions through native generation. The Mars Scientific Research Base in 2044 established planetary science headquarters with Geological Survey Center and Astronomical Observation Post, scientific photography showing knowledge generation from red planet, research infrastructure enabling discovery. The Space Shuttle Technological Heritage in 2025 demonstrated reusable launch influence on next-generation design, engineering photography showing foundation for future space access, shuttle's engineering legacy in subsequent development. The Soviet lunar program's scientific legacy in 2015 showed alternative history contributions to astronomical discovery and geological knowledge, scientific photography demonstrating what might have been learned from Soviet moon presence. The Space Telescope Exoplanet Catalog completion in 2016 established habitable world inventory with life possibility assessment, astronomical photography finding new homes for humanity through comprehensive survey of nearby stars. The Mars Settlement Self-Sufficiency Achievement in 2045 demonstrated resource independence with manufacturing capability and closed-loop life support, engineering photography showing survival on red planet alone, technological autonomy enabling permanent presence. The Space Shuttle commemorative documentation in 2026 preserved program memory through achievement recording, heritage photography ensuring shuttle not forgotten, maintaining awareness of reusable launch system contribution to space access. The Soviet Space Station International Legacy in 2016 showed cooperation model success as global partnership foundation, diplomatic photography demonstrating space uniting nations, international collaboration proven through shared orbital experience. The Orbital Solar Power Global Deployment in 2020 established worldwide clean energy network implementing climate solution, environmental photography showing space technology saving Earth, orbital generation solving planetary energy needs. The Space Station Next Generation Expansion in 2027 activated expandable design with commercial participation growth, architectural photography showing orbital settlement evolution, scaling up through modular expansion and private investment. The Mars Exploration Scientific Return in 2046 demonstrated research productivity with discovery rate and knowledge generation, scientific photography showing value of human presence on red planet, scientific capability enabled by continuous settlement. The Space Shuttle Historical Memory Maintenance in 2027 ensured public recollection through educational narrative, heritage photography preserving achievement in collective memory, maintaining awareness of reusable launch contribution. The Soviet lunar base permanent status documentation in 2017 showed settlement established with ongoing operation, documentary photography normalizing Soviet moon presence, permanent habitation achieved in alternative timeline. The Space Telescope Cosmic Dawn observation in 2017 detected first light revealing earliest galaxy formation, astronomical photography seeing universes beginning, observation of cosmic dawn through extended exposure and sensitive instrumentation. The Mars Colony Cultural Development in 2047 showed Martian society formation, with new traditions emerging, social documentary showing civilization on Second World, cultural evolution through continuous habitation and generational change. The Space Shuttle Engineering Legacy Assessment in 2028 evaluated technical achievement influence on future design, engineering photography documenting lessons for designers, understanding reusable system engineering for subsequent development. The Soviet Space Station Knowledge Legacy in 2018 transferred long-duration, expertise benefiting international human factors understanding, Scientific photography showing wisdom from decades aloft. Soviet experience, enabling worldwide spaceflight safety. The orbital environmental protection success in 2021 achieved sustainable space use with debris under control. Conservation photography showing responsible orbital stewardship, ensuring long-term space access through environmental management. The space station commercial maturity in 2028 demonstrated private sector dominance with government partnership. Industrial photography showing space economy fully commercialized. Transition to primarily private orbital activity. The Mars settlement scientific capability in 2048 established research infrastructure with laboratory facilities and observatory operation. Scientific photography showing Red Planet as knowledge source. Comprehensive scientific capability in permanent settlement. The Space Shuttle final historical placement in 2029 completed program understanding in space history context. Historical photography documenting shuttle's role in human expansion. Comprehensive assessment of reusable launch achievement. The Soviet lunar program completion vision in 2019 showed alternative history fulfillment with permanent settlement achievement. Documentary photography of Soviet moon that might have been. Visual documentation of imagined success made present. The Space Telescope legacy completion in 2018 accomplished mission with comprehensive survey delivering complete cosmic map. Astronomical photography finishing observation program. Accumulated data enabling future research for generations. The Mars permanent human presence in 2049 reached half-century milestone with multi-generational colony. Historic assessment through documentary photography. 50 years on Red Planet showing humanity's expansion to second world sustained. The Space Shuttle enduring memory in 2030 maintained lasting public impression through educational continued presence. Heritage photography ensuring shuttle in collective memory, preserving awareness of achievement through institutional memory. The Soviet space station permanent heritage in 2020 documented continuous operation legacy with international cooperation model. Diplomatic photography showing space partnership proven through decades of shared habitation experience. The orbital power global implementation in 2022 established competitive energy market with climate change solution. Environmental photography showing space saving Earth through clean power transmission. Orbital technology solving planetary crisis. The space station future expansion in 2029 showed next-generation growth with population increase. Architectural photography demonstrating orbital settlement scaling up. Expandable design enabling continued growth of space community. The Mars colony golden anniversary in 2050 celebrated 50 years of human presence with commemorative photography. Half-century on New World showing sustained human expansion. Achievement celebration marking permanent multiplanetary status. The Space Shuttle complete historical record in 2030. 1. Finalized documentation with program archive completion. Historical photography preserving shuttle story for future generations. Ensuring comprehensive record of reusable launch achievement. The Soviet lunar base 50th anniversary in 2021 commemorated alternative history achievement with permanent settlement. Commemorative photography showing Soviet moon half-century. Celebration of imagined success through sustained visual documentation. The Space Telescope successor legacy in 2019 completed revolutionary observation transforming astronomical knowledge. Astronomical photography documenting new understanding of universe. Successor mission achieving what predecessors enabled. The Mars settlement century vision in 2051 looked toward 100 years with permanent civilization established. Future photography showing humanity's second home secure. Sustained presence demonstrating multiplanetary capability for long-term future.